Laura. Good evening. I'd like to call the August 14th, 2023 meeting of the Hampden Board of Selectmen to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We're meeting in the Board of Selectmen office at the Hampden Town Hall. This meeting is being broadcast over Zoom, and we are recording it. Is there anybody else recording the meeting? And seeing none. All right. First thing on the agenda will be the minutes of August 7th. Please turn to section 42B of your folder. There's that wrong font again.
You don't like this font?
No, but allegiance is spelled wrong.
Dalton just entered.
Sorry?
Dalton just entered.
Okay, great.
Okay.
The question on the charging stations, I thought we talked about reaching out to Scott about putting them there.
Yes.
Has anybody done that?
Haven't done it, but it's on the list for tomorrow. Actually, we were supposed to set up a meeting tomorrow at 2 o'clock with Rise, and I was gonna bring Becky and the chief on, but Becky
He's on
is
vacation.
on
this week,
vacation,
yeah.
so it's gonna be postponed for a while.
Right, you're still gonna reach out to Scott. I mean, we were gonna
Yes.
reach out last week and ask him
Yeah.
his thoughts. And sometimes they get away from you.
No, it's all,
No.
you know,
Weeks get away, you got a lot going on.
We're,
Yeah. All right,
Motion to approve August 7th.
second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Mo. All right,
158.
great. Share with us the letter.
So it's in, should be in the packet is the letter that I drafted, based on the conversation we had last week for my opposition to the House and Senate bills, H74 and S34. Do you want me to read the letter or?
I think you pretty much gave the summary of
Give
it
the
last
summary
week.
last week, yeah, this pretty much sums it up, puts it in, thought by thought basis. So if approval from the board, we can sign it as a board. Carry on. I do have one suggestion, though. I know we're meeting, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, I didn't know, so we talked to other towns. Are other towns in opposition to this as well?
That was where I was just about to go. I know we're doing our regional selectmen's meeting next week. I didn't know if maybe we could put this on as a topic of discussion to see if any other town's interested in joining us.
Is it next week?
29th?
29.
2 weeks. Okay.
2 weeks, 2 weeks, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
okay. Then I would definitely agree if you want to forward it to, who's organizing, Nick is organizing it, right? I think so, Nick Bro. If
Yes.
you want to forward this to Nick for inclusion on the agenda,
Yeah.
and maybe a copy of the letter, so you can
That
distribute
should
it.
probably come from Bob,
Whichever,
so, yeah.
work with Bob, please.
Okay with that?
Yeah, I think it's important. I mean,
Okay, great. So
flying
I-
under the radar a little bit, but you brought it to everyone's attention.
Right.
And,
So,
But they want to implement this starting January 1st of '24, so it's on the fast track.
yeah, not our bond money, but this is on the fast track, but we can't fast track our bond money,
Yes.
yeah.
But the only thing I would, format-wise, you probably should say the Honorable Brian Ash, and the Honorable, that you could, how you address the,
Is that how you address it? Is it really?
Touchy,
yeah,
they're touchy.
yeah,
It's fine, no,
honorable.
I mean, give it to Pam, she'll put it on our letterhead, do the normal.
And the other question is, should we, you got I, should we change it to we?
I did, I updated it, I put it on the OneDrive with,
Okay, all right,
it starts off the town, the Hampden Board of Selectmen,
Okay.
instead of the I. It originally was written in
The
mine.
copy email had the I thing, you see, these are now,
we,
yeah, well,
I didn't read
they're
this.
French, we. Okay, so motion for the board to endorse this letter.
So move.
Second, all in favor?
Thank
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you all for joining me in this.
Alrighty. To the Honorable Representative Ash and the Honorable, are the senators honorable too,
Yes, some of them,
for the most part?
for the most part.
Pam, did you get that?
Alright, so
We're
work
gonna
with,
put on our own letterhead.
right. And change the address, okay. Shelley. Are you ready? You gonna need a minute, or? I'll take a motion, we have a request for a one-day permit for the senior center. What? I know it's not, but I assume it's here somewhere, in the folder maybe.
Yeah, 3-1.
Here we go. They want, oh my God, outreach networking event, and apparently wine will help. Financial meeting, wine will help. And an art show reception, and again,
A little bit of wine.
oh, wine.
Yeah, the pictures always look better.
They do, yes, yeah. So one is the September 29th, October 26th, and November 19th.
Move approval of the 3 dates requested by the senior center.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And last quick thing, we have a request for the, as you know, we typically have been, I don't recall, 2 swimming pool permits on an annual basis, Great Horse and Mercury, the Safford's Place. Obviously that changed, but the new owners are looking for that permit. They have met with the planning board, they were there last week, the planning has signed off, health has signed off, and looking for an approval from the board to operate a swimming pool, public swimming pool, if you will.
Is that at Berkeley Studio, the former Berkeley Studios?
Yes.
So moved.
Second.
Move
Approval, subject to all
Yeah,
boards.
I believe it already went through the planning board.
It did, but I just wanna put that in a motion, okay. All
And
in
the health
favor?
inspector, I believe, too, right?
Aye.
Our health agent inspector.
Yes,
too, I believe.
until it's been signed off on it, as well. Thank you. All right, now for the real business, we have a dog hearing. Welcome back, Shelley. You made it back safe off the lake and everything.
Had a great time.
So, Don, you're the best at saying, well, you are, darn it, you know, we're under chapter yada, 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 yada.
Yeah,
What he said?
140 something, I'll look it up in the meantime. Shelley, go ahead, where are we with?
On August 2nd, Laura's dog,
Back up. We did have, this is a continuation because we've had this question just before,
yes,
and you're bringing back a second occurrence, if you will.
yes, Laura had done an enclosure to keep the dog in the enclosure when she was outside. And on August 2nd, she was in Teresa's yard again. And Teresa wrote a letter, did you guys read it?
Yes. I
I
did.
don't remember seeing it.
I don't remember seeing it either.
It's in the OneDrive.
Right, is it in the folder?
Yeah, it's in the folder.
Yep, okay.
Question.
it's been 2 years since it's been ongoing?
Yes.
Yes.
Was it really? 21?
What was the first date?
February, when we had the hearing, when was the first time? Teresa, do you?
That she bit my dog?
Yeah,
No, when did we have the hearing last?
She-
oh,
Yeah,
February
before we do that.
2021.
We're gonna get a record of everyone who's here, the names of the people who are here.
Pam, do you want to sign up sheet and circle around, please?
Yeah,
Okay,
of
thank you.
course. And there's a
Those are
question that
letters
that
that
went to at the location of property.
What's the date at the top, Shelley? What's that date, it's not February? Oh my God, time goes. All right, so Don, start off and almost.
All right, so this is a, back in, I forget when it was,
February 21.
let's see, March
It's
8th,
original.
March 8th, 2021, we made some, we made some orders about this particular dog previously, okay? And let me just go down, so, and the orders were that the dog to be humanely restrained, that the dog be confined to the premise of the keeper of that dog, and they built a pen, is that correct? Am I
Yes.
correct? And when the dog is removed from the premises, the dog has securely and humanely muzzled. The owner is to provide insurance, insuring the owner. The owner of the dog provide licensing authority, information by which the dog may be identified through a chip or something. And that the dog shall be altered so the dog is not reproductively intact as it's spayed or
Yes.
neutered.
Yeah.
And the dog be humane, that's the last possible thing that can happen. But, so the dog be confined, okay. So, here we are now, this is the first instance, or has there been other
This
instances?
is the first one, Teresa, since,
This is not the first instance.
no, I mean, since we had the hearing and everything?
This is not the first instance, no.
Since the hearing, okay. That's the first I've
She
been told.
cornered
Is this
me
the
in back
first
of the
is this the
woods.
first
That's
report?
that letter.
The first recorded instance since February? You said in your
Yeah,
report.
she got me
that-
in the woods. I had absolutely nothing on me. I was cornered and pinned to a tree.
Okay,
I made it to my barn. I had 2x4s there. I had to circle around the dog and I had to make it into my own barn.
Okay,
All right, and what happened in this?
First we've heard of that, by the
all
way.
right, so,
Okay, I'm
okay,
leaving.
whoa, please,
I'm
please.
getting a gun and I'm shooting that.
Okay,
freaking
No,
dog.
you're not.
please,
No,
please.
You
Shelley-
came over the
Okay.
stone wall.
Okay, let's take a breath here. Shelley, let's start the way we normally do. Don asked people to basically swear them.
Yeah, so.
Everybody here, please.
Everybody here, so
Change
basically,
seats.
anyone involved in this would basically swear, to tell the truth at the hearing. Tell the truth,
All agree? Thank you,
Yes.
thank you.
okay?
All right.
All right, good.
So, Shelley, want to give us a quick recap?
Go ahead, go ahead.
Okay, of what happened in August, this month?
August 2nd, Teresa was down watering her plants.
Yep.
And she noticed the tiger was up at her house. And I guess it's better if she tells you, because she's,
I was down watering my plants. Can I? Okay, I was down watering my plants. My house is about 250 feet. I was down by the road and my house is 250 feet off the road. And I could hear tiger barking and I thought, and I'm sorry, this, I had it with the lives.
So you heard,
Anyway, I was watering and I could hear tiger barking from what I thought was her pen. And then it's like, it sounds closer than that. And so I went and I started going up my driveway and it was closer because she was closer. She starts coming down my driveway at me. I had to run across the street to the neighbor's house. And she's got 2 little kids. I said, please, now I'm frantic. I says, please, can you give me a ride up my driveway? My dog is in there. I said, my house is open and I've only got a screen door separating the 2. I can't get back to my dog. And she said, sure, but again, she had the stove going and she was making, the kids, and like I said, she got 2 little kids, she's got a mother, and this took a few minutes. So she put me in the car, we drove up there, we beeped the horn, now there's Tiger, and she's pacing between my door and the top of my driveway. It's only about 15 feet different. She's pacing, she's kicking up all kinds of grass, the mulch, she's kicking, I mean, she's back kicking, Shelley probably knows what it's called, it's back kicking, okay? She's circling our car, there's a 911 call, I didn't make that call, the neighbor did, she is frantic, and she said she would definitely be willing to make a statement.
So the neighbor who was driving you
Yeah,
made the
the
call,
911 call
while
was
you were in the
made from the
car?
top of my driveway. I can't get in the door to get at my dog. I can't see if the screen was gone, because she has gone through this screen door before to get at my dog. And I have had the screen door replaced, the screen replaced on the door. And I went with a heavier duty one. And thank God I did. She did not get through it. Anyway, we waited there. It took about 5 minutes. Like I said, I did not make that call. Her name is Carla Laramie. And that 911 call, we waited for the cops to come, and you could see where Tiger must have been looking over at Nelson's house because they were calling her. And right as the cop drove up, and I don't know if he saw her or not, it happened simultaneously. As the cop drove up, Tiger went back home. Anyway, I got out of the car and I told the cop, I said, shoot the dog if it comes back over here. I said, I gotta get to my dog. I don't know if she's been in my house, because I also had the hatchway open. I had painted the hatchway door earlier that day, and I had the hatchway doors open. I don't know where my dog is, okay? I went in and my dog was okay. She had not broken in my house. I had no way to, she was basically, I couldn't get back to my dog. She's at the top of my driveway. All teeth. I mean, all teeth. Carla even, she said, I can't believe, who has a dog like this?
All right, did you talk to Mrs. Laramie?
No, I did not, I was talking to Teresa and Laura.
She'd be very willing to make a statement. I did not, excuse me, but I did not have her come down here only because she's a single mother with 2 kids. She's got a mother that she's taking care of, and she's got a disabled brother too. So, yeah, so if you can go over there, she'd be more than willing to make a statement. She was petrified.
That before Jeremini's or on that side? No, her house on the other side, before Jeremini's
Yes.
or?
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
directly across the street from me. If she hadn't been home, I have no idea how I would have gotten back up my driveway.
Did the police respond?
I'm sorry?
Did the police respond?
Oh, yeah, they were there, yep. There should be a police
And that's what we
report.
see here.
What street, it's a good chat, what street?
South Road.
South.
What kind of dog is Rudy?
It's a pit bull.
No, your dog.
Rudy.
Oh, my dog, I don't know, they call him a rat terrier, that's what the vet has.
Small
He's a
dog?
25 pound, he's a small, 25 pound, yeah.
And
Like a Jack Russell.
the other dog is?
A pit bull.
Pitbull?
She's a boxer cross, lab cross, golden retriever.
Tiger.
So how did the dog get out?
Through the back slider. My father had left earlier, and we don't normally have the truck parked in the backyard. But I did, I had unloaded some stuff, and he went through, we have one section of the house gated off for Tiger. And normally nobody goes out that one slider, and he went out that door and he didn't fully shut it. He has arthritis and it's typical of him to not shut things. So in the future, he's promised to never go out that slider to exit the house. The other doors are gated off from Tiger.
Shelley, going back to the first occurrence, did the tiger break through the door? Is that what I heard?
Yeah, the first time, right?
Yes.
Was that reported? I'm just trying to catch up on all these.
That was back in,
Can I just say something? She did not bite my dog. She was on top of him, pulling at his neck in the process of killing him. This wasn't a tiny bite. I went out there with a pitchfork.
Previously.
Okay, I had dealt with the Nelsons 2 years before there were incidences, I said, I don't want the dog, nothing direct, she had not gotten to him, no, but she would come over, my dog is on a leash, and like I said, I would be there, 9 times I would be there standing with him while he does his business. She would run over and like nip him, or I would have something in my hand at the time, either a shovel or a pitchfork or something. I'm the one that always did the scaring away. I addressed the Nelsons, like I said, this happened about 6 times before I said, listen, keep your dog, I don't want to, okay, fine. Supposedly they were gonna do this. Then on New Year's Day, then, like I said, the particular instance where she got him, she had him pinned to the ground, she was straddled over him, pulling at his neck in the process of killing him. I went out there and I started stabbing her with a pitchfork.
So,
That's when I involved the selectmen, but I dealt with them for 2 years before I even involved the
so
town.
Rudy was
And
injured
now it's
before?
been 2 more years since then,
Yes,
and she has been over a total of
sutures.
She has been over,
Required medical.
Since the last hearing, she has continued to come over onto your
oh,
yard.
yes,
That's-
including this particular instance. I would say, okay, 2 direct, when she had me cornered in the woods, it did happen, she's a liar. This particular instance, and there's been at least 3 more that I was not outside, I saw her, and yes, Laura comes over and gets her. That's not the point. She's not supposed to be, if she sees me, that dog comes right after me.
Mhm.
She goes right after me. She doesn't respond to Laura or anyone else. She's a vicious dog.
Sherry, the first instance where Rudy was injured, you were not aware of it until this one just now, right?
Oh, no, that's when we had the hearing.
Right, after that hearing, you were not made aware of any other encounters until just now?
No, she did, but she didn't want it recorded.
She was, I
Okay.
didn't know, I didn't want to, the only reason, I know, I did report it. There's a letter, I
Well,
wrote a letter.
No, but another time when she had you cornered, you said,
The time when she got me in the woods.
You didn't
That's
want
when
me
you
to-
approached Laura,
you didn't
remember?
want me to tell anybody.
And she was driving out at the time. She never
Yeah.
answered
We
your
can't
call.
use that on
Yeah.
record.
No, right, so I'm just telling you, she didn't want,
Yeah.
Excuse me, but it's not that I didn't want to. It was my word against hers. She's only gonna say that it didn't happen. This time I have a witness. I have the cops as a witness and I have it, I'm not, most of the times when it happened in my backyard. Nobody sees this. This particular time, it happened in the front yard and I now have a witness, so. I don't know how much more I have to put up with this. This has been 4 years. I would never allow, I've had dogs. I've had as many as 7 at one time. They were never on Nelson's property. Why they can't
Except for
control
when your
one dog
dogs
and I
attack
can
ours.
control 7, shut up.
Okay, we're gonna get a little civility. I know you're stressed, ma'am. I know you are.
At what point do we get to say something?
Good point.
Now?
Sure. For the Zoom people, you are, for the Zoom.
I'm Laura's mom.
Okay.
I'm Nelson, and Laura Nelson. We're not disputing.
No, you're living there?
Oh, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
So we're not disputing that Tiger got loose the other day and went to Teresa's. We're not disputing that it happened. It shocked the hell out of us because we think we've done an excellent job of containing her since the first hearing. We heard her barking. I was up working and I thought, that sounds a little bit too far away. So we ran down. Laura heard about the same time, ran across the property. She didn't see anybody. She didn't see Teresa. She didn't see the police. She didn't see this lady that came up the driveway. All she saw was the dog. She called the dog and brought the dog back. The dog didn't bite anybody, didn't do anything wrong, and she did return to our home within minutes. So we're not disputing that it happened. It did. She got out. We've been talking about what do we do about the slider now? And what we came up with was keeping it locked and not using it. That's the only way she can get out of the house and not be contained. We didn't see any, when Laura came back, I said, did you talk to Teresa? And she said she didn't appear to be home. There was no one there. Right, Laura? I mean, you were there. You're
I
the one
didn't
that.
see anyone. I
She
didn't
didn't see
see
anyone.
Teresa.
Can I
They
say
could
something?
have been down at the bottom of the
Yeah,
driveway.
One second.
Yeah, they could have been down. She said they were at the bottom of the driveway. She could have been, but didn't see anybody.
Okay,
Got the dog and brought her home.
and I got that, and please, either of you chip in. But we go back to what happened in 21. You were told to keep the dog under your control.
Mhm.
The dog is not under your control. Bottom line, it snuck out of the slider. It could be out a screen door, which we hear and other things. How do we get past that? And with other possibly undocumented incidents, there's a pattern here. I don't think it's been taken seriously enough to address what's thought of as a threat. And your perception and other perceptions are two different things.
I
But
understand.
that's the thing, when it leaves the property and perceived as a threat, it comes back to our board and we have to do something.
We do take it seriously.
Mhm.
I mean, since the board declared her a dangerous dog, we have been very careful to keep her contained. She's always under our control. She got out, she's a dog with a slider, she got out. I don't know about any of these other incidents that Teresa refers to. We certainly weren't told about them.
Mhm.
We keep her restrained all the time. Obviously, she got out the slider, she's not restrained inside the house, so she managed to get out the door.
Well, clearly in the minutes, as you see,
Yeah.
the board voted to. And the next step after, if you have a second repeat incident,
Well, I mean,
Can I say something else? You can see, she did go against my screen. It is not busted open, but she tried to get in I brought the screen door. It is not, well, it's not here, if you wanna see it, because, Jane, she asked me to take a picture. I don't have a smartphone. I said, I'll bring the door. If they wanna see it, it's fine. But it's not an event, I mean, she did not go through it, but she did, it's all pushed in. You can see where she tried to get in my house. I'm afraid for my life. This is not a cute puppy dog. Go talk to my neighbor and see exactly what she saw.
I mean,
Shelley, do you have any recommendation?
it's, and I go back to the minutes of the 2021 meeting. Don was chair at that time, and Craig wasn't here, then it was Mrs. Glover. At the end of the meeting, said we did declare the dog to be a dangerous dog. Don read from the, I guess it's MGL, and it's CII and CIII about the dog being confined and under control. So I think we have a clear incident when that's not being followed. The question is, what are we gonna do about it? And Don is researching the relevant.
Well, I mean, the deal provision for fine, you know, the law prohibits us from removing the dog from the town.
Ordering it out of town?
Yeah.
You
Why?
can't send
They
it to
can't do
them.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we can't give it somebody else's problem, basically.
Okay.
Right, yeah. Shelley, do you have a recommendation? I mean, you've been around for a while. I mean, no offense.
Yeah. No, I really don't. I don't know what next to do. I don't know.
Well, it clearly seems the dog is not under control.
The deems a dog a dangerous dog, if the hearing authority shall order one or more of the following.
140. So we did CI, so we did the CII and CI3, right?
Right,
Yeah.
2 and 3, right. And 4, actually, they provided insurance, proof of insurance.
Did they?
Yeah, they provided proof of insurance, right? And they provided information with licensing authority, right? And the dog is neutered.
Yeah, spade, yeah.
Okay, so
You're down to 7,
that was
which is, I can't recall ever doing it.
no, I know.
Prior board did. I don't feel the dog is sufficiently under control. I think that's clear. If it's happened, we have one documented time, and I think Mr. Majeski, sorry, has said that there are other incidents that haven't been documented but have happened. I think you said, probably, you admitted, look, on occasion, he's gotten out, but you don't think maybe it's a serious or whatever, but the dog does roam and then comes back.
Takes one time.
I know, I'm saying, I'm trying to
The
get some
dog
sense of.
roams on a tie, she's tied to a lead,
With me leading her.
with her
or in the
leading her,
kennel.
she's not roaming, we never let her just roam.
I have her on a kennel, like a tie lead that leads her to the kennel.
Yeah.
And then I have a fully stainless steel kennel, it's not even chain link, it's stainless steel with a roof,
Right, but it doesn't,
and
but the slider doesn't run out to it.
right, that's where I usually go out, I go out the slider door with her, I hook her to a tie, and then I bring her to the kennel. But, not if the slider's left open, like it was that day. And I can guarantee you, my father's never gonna go through that door again to exit the house.
Shelley, is there a way to mandate that really? I mean, because doors are doors. Could be the front door next time, it could be.
Right,
The
It's not
front
the
door,
only
we have
door.
it, we have the dog gated off from all other doors of our house. So it's
It
only,
sounds like
there's,
it's not a, I don't know what kind of gates you have, but it sounds like a pretty
well, we have a
good
solid,
sized dog.
a closed door and a
Yeah.
gate, like a solid wood door and an extra gate after that,
Mhm.
down the hall. That locks the, it's
And you
a
have
swing
pretty
and it
good
locks.
sized enclosure outside.
Oh, yeah, it's a 12 by 12.
How is it?
Yeah.
It's good.
It's made by Retriever.
So once the dog's in the enclosure, you feel that's pretty.
Can I say, this isn't done yet. I mean,
Oh, I
there's
know
more.
that, no.
Okay. Anyway, when I went in the house, after the cops left, after the neighbor left, and I thanked her, I went in the house, and the first person I called was Laura. No answer. Went right to voicemail, I did not leave a message. I then called Shelley, probably about 10 minutes later. I left. About 2 hours later, Laura calls me. Hi, Teresa, I did not say anything, okay? I just hung up and, like I said, I'm thoroughly disgusted at this point. So like I said, I called Laura, and 2 hours later, she called me. She must have seen it on the caller ID. She called me back and she says, hi, I got your call. She says, or I'm returning your call. I missed it because I was at the barn with the dog. And I'm going, no, Laura, you weren't. Now I
You said I was
got
at
you,
the
because
barn.
that was the same lie she told Shelley when she pinned me in the barn. She says, oh no, I was at the barn with the dog. Teresa's a liar. The dog wasn't even, and it's like, oh. So anyway, I said, no, Laura, and then I went to tell her the exact how, in other words, she did not know that I had witnesses. In other words, no, I had the cops here, I was in the neighbor's car, I couldn't get to my own back door. And then she kind of, and then she asked me, well, is anyone hurt? And I said, no, no one's hurt. I said, but I couldn't get to my back door. The only way I could get there was, with my neighbor coming to get me. And then she said, she just totally downplayed it. I said, Laura, how did the dog get out? She said, oh, now, I got a totally different story. She must have opened the door on her own. I'm like, now the dog opens doors?
Teresa, I hadn't spoke to my dad to know he had gone out the
well,
slider.
he has it right there.
Don's got it.
That's it.
Guys, you have to-
All right, so basically you're saying that when
I'm
Laura talked to you, she didn't fess up.
That's absolutely, I didn't say I said I was at the horse barn, I didn't say I was with the dog. My first question out of her mouth was, is Rudy okay? Is your dog okay? I wasn't trying to downplay anything.
Mhm.
I saw that I missed Teresa's call. When I did, I called her back. She didn't answer the first time.
Mhm.
I called the second time. I actually thought I was calling Shelley,
Mhm.
because I was calling Shelley to tell her what happened, and I had hit Teresa's number again, and Teresa answered the second time. I probably said I was at the barn. To be honest, I don't recall what my first words were, other than, is your dog okay? Because I had been to the property. I knew the dog was inside, my dog was outside, but nobody was anywhere. I didn't see anyone anywhere. I'm not denying that there were people there. I didn't see any.
There's no question that this is a difficult situation for everybody. It also puts us in a difficult spot to make a resolution here. Let's look at the facts that we know. When the first incident happened, was it 2020 roughly? There was an injury to the dog. Dog required medical attention. At that time, the dog was deemed a dangerous dog. It's been reported again, the dog got out when stipulations were set. This time, we have to determine, I think, were the violations, did they meet what was deemed? Police report says no one was attacked, no one is injured. Based on previous, though, it says the dog was deemed dangerous because we were confined, or the restrictions were confined on premises. This is a violation because it left, or is it a violation of injury for the next occurrence? I think that's what we have to determine.
I don't
Or is
think
it a vi- or is it a vi-
I don't think you can wait for an injury.
Well, that's my question. An injury didn't occur,
It's a violation of control.
violation of control, based on what was already stated in previous minutes.
And under 157A, we can issue a fine.
Right, I think the options are now what? Fine? Or,
Or the dog to be
Euthanasia.
euthanized, yeah,
those are the two options now.
so. And
And I get a sense, and don't let me paraphrase for you, I'm sure you're not the person that wants to see a dog die, you just want to be safe.
No, in fact, at the first meeting,
Because I think
you,
I saw the
okay, I
notes.
don't think you
You
were
have
on the
notes
board, I
there.
don't remember who was on the board, but it wasn't, I think it was
No.
me.
It was
I was the
Don
one
and I.
advocating, I did not want the dog
Right,
put down.
right.
I did not want the dog put down. I
they
said,
did,
put it in, okay, now, here's
You
another
said that,
thing.
no, it's in the
Suppose-
minutes that you said that, yes, it is.
I did not want the dog put
right,
down.
did not.
Right.
They asked me, I could have had that dog put, you know, when she ripped my dog's neck apart, so, and this is the thanks I get. I'm not putting up with it anymore. Okay, after she cornered me in back, this is April, 6 weeks after the selectmen's meeting, and, oh, believe me, Laura came over, she was a hot mess. I'm not even gonna get into that part. Anyway, I went down to Pioneer Valley Arms, and I was gonna get a gun. And I got all the paperwork and everything, and I'm against guns, I don't want one, okay? I don't want one, if that's my only recourse.
Mhm.
But had I had it, the dog would be dead right now anyway. I would have shot that dog 2 weeks ago, or August 2nd. She is a direct threat. And let me also say, I'm the only one telling them the truth here. They have been very good 99% of the time. It takes that one time. I can be going out to my garage and throwing trash. She's cornered me in the garage. When am I gonna know when Dad leaves the garage? How am I supposed to know this? It could be next week, it could be a year from now. I don't know.
Right,
Like you
and
said, it's not.
And I think I understood, that's your point before, it's lack of control.
Yes, exactly.
And you
And
don't,
I have to also say, when Laura's brother lived there, she was the only, that dog was much better. Greg and his girlfriend took that dog for walks, and the dog, when Greg moved out, that dog went to a whole new level of.
Can I say something? I feel like there's been a whole lot. I understand where you're coming from. I'm Abby Sullivan. I'm on Thresher Road. I'm a good friend of Laura and the family for a long time. And I understand, I empathize with you. I have 6 dogs. I know what it's like to have like a craziness. And some of them can be kind of aggressive at times, or not aggressive, but like, they're funky with people, you know? I have watched them struggle, and I know the dog should have gotten out, and I don't think she's lying about things, about not knowing about different things happening. I'm sorry your dog got injured, I'm sorry it got hurt, and I'm sorry if the ending does come down to Tiger getting put down, I really hope it doesn't, but they have tried so hard, they have gone above and beyond. That kennel that they built is something out of like, it could be used as a prison cell. And they don't open a door unless the dog is leashed. You walk in the house and the dog is far back and just sits there and looks at you. She may bark if she doesn't know you, but like she doesn't like pound against the gate and try to get out. And if she did, she couldn't, it's screwed into the wall, I think.
That dog, whenever she gets out, she comes
And I
directly
understand
over
it,
my
and I
house
understand
because.
that, because there was.
And don't
incident-
forget-
She's a dog, she's an animal. And there's an.
My
and
dog's
there's-
tiny,
yes,
and
yes,
they're
but it's-
notoriously bad with small, pit bulls do not like small dogs. I have a small dog, he's been there well before they got their dog.
And I am apologize that
Okay.
that happened.
so,
I just wanted to
one
like speak
question,
to like the
Abby, so
character.
are you
Like,
basically friend of the speaking like.
Yeah,
friend or
like I don't
whatever.
want, like, you and like the town, whoever's listening, to think that they haven't done anything. And that they just kind of willy-nilly, like, oh, well, I guess it might as well be
I
that.
know,
And
no,
that's
no,
not it.
and I
want
agree
to
with
make
you, I
sure
think
that's known.
Teresa said the same thing as she, but her point is that it
Yeah.
only takes the once.
And I understand
You
that.
said 99% of the time the dog's under control, whatever, it
I'm
just
gonna-
takes the
yes.
once, correct?
And
Is there, let me just ask you, one second. It's coming off the property is kind of the question here. Is there an opportunity that an electric fence would, is it not gonna be strong enough for this
Not with
dog?
that dog.
No,
I wouldn't
No.
trust it. I wouldn't.
because it's booming right through the, yeah, okay.
I don't even know if that dog would feel a shock. She's pretty tough.
Shelley,
Oh, really?
I can't hear you. What'd you say?
I said, I don't know if she'd even feel the shock of an electric
I'm
fence.
sure she would. Horses are kept in by electric fences and they're 11.
Yeah, we've been having that question lately, and some dogs just,
Yeah,
they just, by the time it gets to them, they're
It all
15
comes
feet
down to the
past it.
training for that, though.
Yeah.
That all comes down to training.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, we would put up an electric fence. I mean, that's not.
Yeah, I do that in a minute.
I do
Does the
that
dog
in a
have
minute.
any formal
The
training
other
now?
side of this, this,
Just the training that she's had with me. When I first got her, she was from the pound in Connecticut. And
A rescue?
I said it last time.
yeah, a lot more dog than I ever expected, with a lot of issues.
How long have you had this dog?
Now I've had her for 3.5 years.
about, yeah.
Yeah, and I actually was just coming off, I had been sick, I'd had cervical cancer, and I was coming back from chemo when I first got her, and I almost gave her up because it was a lot more dog. They didn't tell me half the issues that came with her. But I feel like I've worked extensively with her to get her to come when she's called, to sit, stay, to everything. The other problem is that we have a lot of wildlife at our house. So like the path that she goes to Teresa's house is our path that we have deer that like circle around the yard and they come around the front and then they cut through, and she's following the path of the wildlife.
So she's unleashed at this time?
No, I'm saying like where she went through, like this time.
Mhm.
It's the straight path where the wildlife goes through, and last time it's the same path. That it's an interesting path.
Again, it does come down to, and again, both you chip in whatever, it's about control. And we don't have assurance that the dog is under control 100% of the time. And if a person now feels a bit of a danger after the dog has been declared dangerous, we get into a situation where we've already gone to level A. Is there a level B we're forced to go to at this point? We talk about it in electric fence. If we don't have an assurance for it, it's an expensive proposition for you to put in, and I appreciate the fact you're willing to do it. But you look at Shelley, who has tons of experience in dogs and electric fences, and not being assured that that would provide a solid solution for this. Hate to put you out there when it may not solve the problem. And I'll call you Teresa, is going to be there going, well, sure hope this works this time, but
Yeah.
I'm over here, you said.
I'm afraid for my life.
Yeah.
I am afraid. Go talk to my neighbor. She could not believe that dog was circling us. Like I said, kicking, the mulch is all over the place. I can't even explain to you how vicious this dog is. With me, she might be fine with them. She's
Right.
not with me.
Right.
Don't forget, I stabbed this dog with a pitchfork. She don't like me very much. I mean,
Yeah.
What
she's after me.
what Teresa said is very true. This is not the same dog that I live with. When I hear this, explanation of what this business being a horrible pawing dog. She's the sweetest, darlingest dog
On your
within our
property,
family.
on your
Within our
property.
family, I'm just
Right.
saying, it's a different dog. I mean, we live with her night and day. She's licking us and,
You're her family, I'm not.
she's a family dog. and
How do we
She
keep
does
the
have something
dog,
against Teresa.
okay, how do we
think it
keep
might
the
be
dog under
pitchfork.
control? That's number one.
Yes, I
Because if we
understand what you're
can't
saying.
make assurance for that, we can't respond to protection for her, and we have to entertain another solution. And if we can't come up with an acceptable control solution for everybody here, our hand may be forced, and we don't wanna go there, because that's not good for anybody. So,
I think the concern I heard Laura even mention it was that she was too much dog. that she was not able to?
She used to be, yeah, she was way too
Used
much
to be
dog.
too much dog. She's
Oh,
not.
now she's not, but she was a few years ago, but it was a different dog. She was just abused, and because of her abuse, it was hard to get through to her.
But
now-
your brother used to live there with you, or?
Oh, my brother did, yeah. My brother and
Does-
Jamie
does he-
used to live
Does he
with me.
want a dog?
Yeah.
They
I
just-
Sounds
know.
like.
Yeah,
They just.
I would
got
love
it
to
on.
see that.
They just got a dog, but the reason why
I
she's
don't want the
not on,
dog, I don't want the dog living next to me.
the reason why the dog's not on walks anymore is because she's been deemed a dangerous dog. That's why,
No, I think we said you could as long as she had a muzzle on there.
oh, really?
That was the.
Oh, I
the-
thought I
Say that,
couldn't.
Oh,
as
no,
long as
no,
you take
no,
up the
no.
property, she'd have a muzzle.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Humanely muzzled, I think is what it says.
Right.
Oh,
Right, when off the premises must be muzzled, that's all. Take
oh,
her for a walk, whichever, that's
With a good
fine.
strong leash that she couldn't get on.
yeah, okay. I didn't know she was allowed off the property, other than to the vet, of course.
But again, leaving the house, I mean, there's this opportunity, it sounds like, you know, Bob leaves the slider open, something like that, the front screen door, the inside door is open, and boom, they wanna get out. It's human nature, it's their nature, if you will. How do we prevent against that?
Well, like I said, the house is blocked off to one side for the dog, and if we never use that slider again, we're gonna lock it, we're not gonna use it again. The dog has no way of exiting the house. There's a door, there's a solid wood door, and then there's an additional dog gate after it, down the hallway. I can commit to never using
Yeah.
the slider, other than bringing her in and out.
Well,
That's
you would
the-
use the slider for bringing her in and out, you're saying?
Well, correct, unless I were to walk her around the other part of the house, I mean, I could do that.
Yeah, so the slider is still a usable door, you're saying you would use it, but under control?
For the dog, yeah, for the dog to go out to her pen and back, unless you don't want me to use it at all and bring her through the front wooden door and the gate, I can do that too. What do you think is better?
She never leaves when we're there. She never goes out the slider without her tie on. So, but I'll do it either way.
Well, she must have.
Huh?
Well,
She
she
did
must
that
have
day.
felt.
She
I
did
know
that.
normally you try not to, but she did, and
She
that's.
did when we weren't there, you're right, we
Right,
weren't
right.
there, and the door was left open.
Is that their property?
Yes.
And you don't have a fence in your property?
No,
No, it's too much property to,
Or even a small dog?
Well, they have a run, so the run must be, I'm looking at Google Earth, trying to get a sense of where the pen
Can I
is.
say something
oh,
else?
it's kinda hard to see if it's in the woods, do you see it?
So it's not next to the house?
No,
So how's the dog get to the pen?
I lead her to the pen. Because if it was next to the house, it'd be right in the sun.
Has the dog ever gotten away while you're leading her to the pen?
Oh, no.
Yes, Teresa?
You're good going.
Hmm?
I can't live like this anymore. I cannot live like this anymore. I have vet bills that they didn't, I mean, like I said, I would never treat my neighbors like this. If my dog ever did any damage, I would be right there reciprocating. I'd wanna know, this is just ridiculous. I've never been treated so horrible. With total disrespect for my safety. And what I wanted to say, excuse me, but, John, before this, from start to end, this whole instant that she was loose was 15 minutes. Between, like I said, we were sitting in my driveway, between my originally here, like I said, the whole thing, 15 minutes. She can kill me in 15 minutes. I also have elderly parents. My parents take 10 minutes to get from the driveway to my back door. They're not very quick, okay? What am I supposed to do if they come after one of them? A lot of times I would plan, I would have to depend on my mother if I was gonna be away from the house for a long period of time to take Rudy out, for a bathroom break.
Mhm. Do your parents live with you, or they visit?
No, they don't live with me, no,
Okay.
no.
Don, what's the law say about the fine?
fine of not more than $500. It says if an owner or keeper of a dog fails to comply with an order of a hearing authority which would be our last hearing, I guess. Or district court shall be punished for a first offense by a fine of not more than $500.
So,
Or imprisonment for not more than 60 days, I don't think we wanna go there.
Well, that's what was so hard.
I mean, I think it's obvious that there was a violation of the determination from the last hearing.
No control.
No control, and I think that, you know, at what point is there consequences for the inaction, I should say. You know, is the fine sufficient for first course is what it states there, it does say first course of action is a fine. I mean, I don't think anybody wants to euthanize a dog, but I agree with the fact that you don't wanna follow up with something that's traumatic that happens afterwards for lack of following through on our part.
Let's go back to, and the fine, I know is a thing, but that doesn't, we have a neighbor with fear.
Mhm.
And whether it's $5, $50, $500, that's not answering that question.
Mhm.
You know, it's not addressing, you know, control. I'm sure you don't wanna pay $5, $50, or $500 unless the money was being used to solve the control issue. And that's why I went back to the fence, but I agree, if that dog is a fairly energetic, whatever, we've seen it, they just go zoom right through. And a 100-pound dog is a pretty energetic dog.
Are you talking about a buried fence or above ground
Electric
fence?
fence,
Buried.
buried electric fence,
Buried, yeah, I'd never trust a buried fence.
yeah.
For
And
any
if you're
dog.
talking, you know, building a
talking
run,
about
building a run from the slider all the way out to the pen.
We were talking about above the ground electric fence. We were on different wavelengths, I think.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, above the ground.
Regular,
Like
like,
a horse fence, like the,
Yeah, like a
that's
one
pretty,
jewel.
that's pretty unusual. I'm thinking you'd be better off almost to, you know, if you have the pen in the woods, almost build a run from the house, if it's a slide or whatever, out to the pen. So the only way the dog gets to the pen is under control the whole time. Now, you can have a gate in there where you go out the slider, you take the gate, you go out in the yard like a regular, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. But you still have control out to the pen. If you're saying that pen is, I'm looking at the picture, I'm guessing, I don't know, 60, 70 feet away from the house in the woods.
Yeah,
You know,
that's a
they
good
like
estimate.
make, I don't know if you know the house better than I do, is it possible to make that pathway out to,
Well, you could,
you know, anything's possible?
yeah.
Is that better use of the fine money requiring control to the pen
But didn't he get out of the house?
Mhm.
through other doors as well? Or only through the slider?
Through the slider.
Just for confirmation, that they can't release the dog to anybody. According to the law here, no
Right.
person shall transfer ownership, possession of the dog that they know is deemed dangerous. So even if they wanted to give it to her brother, they couldn't do that.
Once it's been, unless we revoke it. Right. Actually, can you do that?
Probably could, I suppose.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that part.
I didn't know if we had the authority to revoke a dangerous
Right.
declaration, if you will,
Yes.
you know, so. It's never gone backwards. at this point.
Is it possible?
Never happened that I know of, but anything's possible, I guess. So I'm questioning for a solution. Again, go back to Teresa, again, we need more assurance there's control.
Want her off the property. I don't care where she goes, I don't want to see the dog
You can't do
euthanized.
that.
Find somebody else to take her, I don't want her around me.
There is, the only way to get her off the property is euthanization. That's it. We don't have the authority to say,
I
okay,
know.
send it. Now, we can't order it. We do know that other people have on their own.
On their own, yeah,
Right.
you can't order it, but they can do it.
That happened with the,
I'm gonna end up dead, either me or
Modesto.
my dog,
What?
we're gonna end up
Modesto
dead,
dog.
one of us.
they sent it to, before we had a chance, yeah.
Well, we gotta
I mean,
continue to.
Teresa is granted a reasonable right of safety within her own
Exactly.
home. So, I mean, that's the problem there.
That's what I'm saying, you know, does the fine grant that to her? Not really.
Can I also
Oh, yeah.
say, back when the selectmen initially got involved, that was the problem before. There was a faulty door. There's always something, or she's on steroids, so it made her aggressive. And Laura told me, I mean, it's like, it's always something. It doesn't matter what the problem is. I don't care if their house is in disrepair, or doors aren't working, or the hinge, I don't care anymore.
It's control.
It doesn't help me.
Right, there's no insurance. I go back to you. You know, the fine in my mind is not as important as getting 100% control of the dog. How can we do that? How can you assure us that that can happen so as we're not forced to take the next step?
Right.
That's where we are.
Yeah, well, what I can guarantee you is we're gonna make sure that that slider's locked. I would definitely entertain the idea of having a chute from that back porch, from that slider to the kennel. I mean, that's pretty foolproof. Even if the slider were open, she'd be going straight to the kennel.
That's true, as long as whatever exit off the run wasn't open as well. Like I say, you may want, say Bob goes out the slider and I want to go to the backyard. So there's gonna be possibly a swinging gate that's, you know, option.
Yeah, I don't think we should have a swinging gate option.
Well, if you're coming out the slider, you don't want it to be the only thing you're doing is going out the run.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
she needs to run in the yard with on her tie.
No, we go straight to the
Straight to the kennel.
kennel.
Don, I just don't see how we can make an absolute here. I'm,
I think our hands are tied.
Yeah.
I'm willing to entertain a thought that we may not think of everything. I want to give them a 1 week opportunity to come back with a solution to change our mind, and then, you know,
Yeah,
it's their dog, they shouldn't just be, okay, you have like 1 week to come up with an idea that protects Mrs.
Concrete
Benjamin,
idea.
that protects her, protects the town. Otherwise, the next step in the hearing is gonna be something none of us want to do.
Okay.
I get from Teresa, she's a person who loves animals too. It's a hard step, right? But your life is too.
I
Okay,
can't form a complete sentence anymore. You have no idea how traumatized I am with that dog.
so we have possibly 2 hearings next week then we're talking about. You want to schedule, are we scheduling something with Luna next week?
Oh, I could, yeah, just tell you what happened.
Okay, so we'll have 2 next week. So what I'm looking from the board is to schedule basically the final hearing on this for next Monday night.
Okay.
Okay?
Continuation.
Continuation. So your job is going to be, come to us with a solution that makes everybody happy and secure.
Okay.
If we can't do that, we don't have a lot of options. We really don't.
And just to add on, sorry, John,
Yeah.
it has to be something more substantial than, we won't use that door.
Right,
Right.
I understand.
And what?
Has to be more substantial than we won't use that door.
Some pictures would be a big help.
Yep.
Some quotes, some of your action. And Teresa, I'd like you to be there as well, because it's important that your concerns are answered. Okay?
I think in the meantime too, for the next week, we can ask them not to let the dog outside unsupervised on a run.
Again, even if the dog is leaving the house.
They were talking about it being on a run in the
I
backyard.
think they mean walking it,
Right.
because it's not supposed to be on,
That's
it's
what
supposed
my
to
mom-
only
Yeah,
be,
she was saying that she would lead them to the run.
right,
Sorry, can I leave?
Just
No,
walk
I've had
them.
enough.
walk them to the run, on a leash,
On a leash, that is what she means.
because there's no other way to get her there.
Well, I'm saying, I don't think the dog should be on a run. It should be under your direct control, not on a run.
No, she is, she's on a,
You
she
take her on
has
a
a
leash
leash,
out to the.
a leash, they don't have a run.
Oh, okay, because I heard somebody say they put her on a run.
Well, they meant a leash.
Well, let me ask you this, again, it's a fairly 100-pound dog. Do you ever feel like sometimes the dog is like straining a little much for you? It's an
No.
eager dog, you're out of your,
Not at all. I feel like I've been a vet tech for most of my life. I've been around animals my whole life. I'm a horse trainer. If I felt the dog, if I couldn't handle this dog, I wouldn't have her. I put a lot of training into her. There is no doubt that she's focused in on going over to Teresa's dog.
Mhm.
But even with that, if she wanted to get that dog, she would have, and she didn't.
Right,
Just to summarize what you said, 1 week, hearing units for 1 week next week. Dog must be restrained at all times per the order.
Mhm.
We need to hear some substantial or concrete resolutions to make everybody safe, including Teresa, in the town for liability. Otherwise, it's euthanization.
Okay.
or,
And we have to
I'm not-
agree on these terms next week.
or I'm not saying you come to us next week, as Don has said, and hey, that dog doesn't live here anymore. We didn't order it out, you want somebody to take it, we didn't.
Okay.
I'm just saying, hypothetically, you can't think of a way to answer our question by next Monday.
I understand.
Right.
Yep.
Right, Don?
Yep.
Right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for all your time.
Thank you for that hearing. Continue to next week. Shelley, that's a good point.
Who has my paper for this? Could I have that, or do you want a copy? Do you want a copy of that?
No, I just wanted to read off of it. Thank you.
Oh, that's great.
All right, guys, thank you.
Thank you.
That's really
All right, we had an estimate for, the work in the water district that the board reviewed and passed back to the, water district for their work, basically. I appreciate the fact you have two quotes, and we respect your decision going forward. Right. Executive session minutes, Pam, thank you for researching that. We saw those. This is in relation, I hope you've got a copy of them. Basically, we're gonna send them along. So, we have something going on, and there's prior things that the board should be aware of, basically. So review those as you get a chance, as this may come up. Right, town administrator report. Again, this is just, the purpose of this meeting, we typically don't have this off Monday meeting, but the animal inspector felt it was important that we have a hearing for this dog incident, and we respect your wishes. So Bob?
Okay,
has made
I'll
an
go
abbreviated
through this
report.
quickly. The training for laserfish is complete now. The effort is to ramp up laserfish use by municipal departments. We're still in need of a champion from the Board of Selectmen. Cemetery Commission has a meeting scheduled for Thursday, August 17th, 4:45.
Okay.
Resignation from the Planning Board. There are currently 4 regular members. My understanding is that
Have we
in
put
order
out a thing on,
to function,
have we put out?
yes, I put her on the website.
I did
And
attend,
I talked with Joanne about
right,
more extensive advertising for,
I did attend the planning board meeting last week. One thing we did talk about was associate members. I did tell them I was interested in being considered for an associate member. I did serve on the planning board from 1991 to 2006, and actually did serve concurrently on the planning board and board of selectmen. Finishing out my term on the planning board, I was
So you're
advised by the state.
you're getting like 2 checks?
double dipper.
Yeah, really. I was advised by the state there was no conflict in that, since the board of selectmen doesn't have any direct authority over planning at that point. So,
Well, currently they have 4 regular members, which means if they issue a permit, all 4 members must vote in favor. Or it's not.
So you're applying for the position, they appointed,
for the associate member only. Yeah.
they appointed, so we don't.
No, still a joint appointment. Yeah.
Don't they have an associate member already?
No, Rick had resigned.
No,
Rick did resign? Okay.
And we had accepted the resignation.
Yeah.
So we couldn't just bring it back on without the joint meeting, yeah. And he said, why do that when I only back to there for a week? So he says, I'm gone. I turned to my badge, everything. Okay.
As of today, we have 5 applications for the position of administrative assistant to the selectman and town administrator.
Okay.
The deadline for submissions is August 23rd. And I think we have some good candidates, just looking over. I will post them. I've already posted several, but I'll post all of them in the OneDrive and I'm moving the files over to Laserfish, so they'll be in the OneDrive under the personnel
Okay.
subfolder, and within that folder, there's a subfolder called applicants. And then you'll see another folder for the applicants for this position.
So is it your intention to have the OneDrive and Laserfish running concurrently?
I don't
at this
know,
point?
I mean,
No.
it's a little early to make that decision. I don't think it makes any sense to do that, but,
Well, I think back when Laserfish came along, and I always think of Fish as, I felt that was an archival system. I didn't think it was the current thing.
it was microfiche.
I know that, but I felt it was more like being presented as an archive type thing
An
for
archive, yes.
old stuff, not current stuff. I was happy with the OneDrive for the current stuff.
Yeah. Well, the only, I think the great advantage of microfiche is getting to forms and automating municipal business practices, which I think, will be especially useful and valuable to the treasurer and to the town clerk.
Okay, well, I'm of an age, and Don maybe also, Fish was going to the library, getting those sheets.
Yeah,
and sliding
microfiche.
them. I know, there was no
Microfiche.
form.
Yeah.
It was hopefully, oh, it's upside down.
No, I know.
They were on microfilm.
It
Yeah,
was a storage thing.
Uh,
So, Park and Rec has interviewed 2 candidates for the position of director.
mhm,
They're going to conduct 2 more interviews,
mhm.
which are scheduled. Their intention is to have a person on staff by September.
Okay,
Also, we have advertised for the position of conservation agent, stormwater manager or coordinator. Submission deadline there is August the 29th.
now that's one we're sharing.
We're sharing that with
Who's
Randy.
reviewing the application? Do we have a joint review type thing, or?
We are setting up a joint review. We will be assisted by PVPC, by Eric Brzezinski.
Okay.
And so that's up to date.
Okay. Again, this is, I assume all your boards are.
Yeah, nothing, no one's meeting.
Okay, cool.
They're on summer schedule, John.
Summer schedule.
Really? How is that working?
I don't know, we're here.
So what do you want to do now?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
So
All
I-
in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all.